What's going on, everyone? Scott here. Welcome back to the channel. So Michigan State basketball goes on the road to Chrysler and gets a top 15 road victory against their rival, 75-62 in Chrysler against Michigan. Half a game ahead of Michigan State prior to this game. Now Michigan State leaves Ann Arbor with sole possession of first place in the Big Ten. A game in which Michigan State controlled for the first five or so minutes of the game. Michigan controlled about the next 10. Then Michigan State was able to close the half strong, going into the half down 4 at the time, when at the time Michigan State had turned it over 9 times. I believe they only had 2 assists in the first half. And then in the second half, again, we've seen it time and time again this year, was just able to completely flip the script in the second half. Went into half down by 4, 34-38, completely flip it in the second half, 41-24 to give you that 75-62 win on the road. And just absolutely incredible game across the board. Couple guys we'll go up and down the roster for Michigan State. But first, before we do jump in, if you could just hit that like and subscribe button down there. More Michigan State basketball content on the channel, so make sure to subscribe so you don't miss a video. But we'll start out with Michigan. First off, you have to start out, their 2 7-footers are as advertised. Vlad Golden, even though it seems like he pretty much gets every single foul call every time he drives to the basket, no matter how straight up you are, he finished with 21 points, 5 rebounds. He turned it over 4 times, though, was 7 for 11 overall from the field, and not surprising enough, he was 7 for 11 from the free throw line as well. Danny Wolf, just absolutely incredible. He's a first-team Big Ten, all Big Ten type guy, and holding him to 11 points was fairly impressive. But listen, 11 points, 8 assists, 7 rebounds. He was getting it done for Michigan all night long, and holding him one for 4 from 3-point range was definitely a key in this one. Namari Burnett really stepped up for them with 12 points in this one, 5 for 8 from the field. But besides that, Michigan State was able to pretty much turn off the water on Michigan. One of the top scoring teams in the Big Ten. We talked about it coming in to this game, holding them to 62 points. We said gonna have to make this one grimy and make this a lower scoring game, like Michigan State has done in their best performances this year. Did just that, was able to turn them over 15 times. Michigan came in averaging 14 turnovers, so you turn them over even more than they had been on the year. And then let's flip it over to Michigan State. First off, we'll talk about the first half. The first half, as we said, 9 turnovers, only 2 assists, I believe it was. At halftime, I was texting with the Michigan State buddy of mine, and I said, if Michigan State can keep the turnovers around, like we always talk about, 8 to 12 is that sweet spot for turnovers. They were at 9 at half. I said if they can keep the turnovers to about 12 and hit about 3 more threes in the second half, I think they'll be in a good spot to win this game. They only turned it over 11 times total, only 2 turnovers in the second half. Trey Holloman had the 3 3-pointers himself. He had 3 3-pointers in a row, and we will definitely get to Trey Holloman here in a second. But in the starting lineup, starting out with Jeremy Fears, he had a really rough first half. I believe he had 2 turnovers on the night, but really they were just sagging off of him a lot, like we've seen the last handful of games. And he took a couple shots and just weren't going down. He wasn't being aggressive when he was driving, getting to the basket. Second half, that completely turned around. He finished with 10 points. He did have 2 3-pointers as well. Finished 4 for 8 overall from the field. Only 2 assists. Did have a nice steal after a turnover. Actually, he did have a turnover in the second half, or after a Michigan State turnover. He was able to get the steal in transition. Had a nice, pocket shovel pass to Cohen Carr, who got fouled once the free throw line, even though he missed both free throws on that sequence. But anyway, Jeremy Fears, it was just night and day different running the team from the first half to the second half. A big reason why Michigan State was able to flip the script the way that they did in the second half. And then also Jaden Akins, been talking about it all year. In the biggest moments, or kind of the moments in lull, where Michigan State needs a bucket to kind of settle the waters, calm the waters. Yes, Jace Richardson as well. But Jaden Akins has been able to get to the basket, tough finishes. We've seen it all night. Crafty finishes too. He did it again here tonight. 11 points. He still 1 for 6 from 3. It's like we're getting similar stat lines every single night from Jaden Akins, but it's the big moments that he's still getting those tough shots to go at the basket and coming at just the right time. Had a couple of pull-up mid-rangers as well, around the elbow, free throw line as well, off those screens at the 3-point line. And Jaden Akins, can't say enough about him tonight. What he was able to do in those moments to kind of steady the waters at times, and then off the bench. Cohen Carr as well. He only had 4 points, but four rebounds, but those were, they talked about it at halftime. Those were loud rebounds. He soars above the rim, gets the rebounds, had a nice putback one as well. That might or might have not taken it off the rim, but that led to a Dusty May technical foul, but we'll leave it at that. And he played really good tonight in his minutes. Carson Cooper, solid as well. 6 points, 8 rebounds. They were able to find him on a pick and roll, oop to the basket as well. Got his 8 rebounds. And then the two big ones we want to talk about. First, Trey Holloman. We already talked about. He's 3 for 4 from 3 on the night, and those 3 threes in a row. He did it again earlier this season where he had 3 threes in a row. Heat check. I think it was the Illinois game as well. I think he finished with 18 points in that one as well, but 18 points, 4 assists. I mean, just absolutely calms the waters. There's a handful of our guards, and that's what I love about our guards is each of them has their moments where they can just calm the waters, get a bucket, and Trey was doing it. The one, I mean, for sure the last one, heat check 3, and he just nailed it. Brought it on the defensive end as well. Love the emotion, talking to the crowd as well. Just absolutely love to see it. Big reason again why we get this big time victory. And then Jace Richardson. I mean, I don't know how you leave him off of. He's one of the 5 best freshmen in the Big Ten. I know the Big Ten is loaded with freshmen, but there is no way he's left off first team All Big Ten list. I mean, again, another big time game. Oregon game a couple weeks ago, big time game. Michigan State needed a win against a good Oregon team at home. Everything going on. He drops a career high in that one tonight. Again, 21 points, 6 rebounds, 3 steals as well. 2 for 4 from 3, 7 for 12 overall from the field. Just absolutely getting it done on the defensive end as well. Just absolutely incredible. Absolutely love watching Jace Richardson play. And again, huge reason we do not win this game. Obviously, without Jace Richardson, Trey Holloman. But again, the thing that I love about this team, we don't win this game without the collective of the team. Just as a team, constantly getting it done. And I'll move over just to some team stats as we, kind of wrap up here, because I can kind of ramble on all night. And Michigan State shooting 46%, about the same as Michigan. Michigan was at 46% as well. Michigan State got up 11 more shots than them, but Michigan State 9 for 22 from 3-point range, out shooting Michigan both in makes and attempts. If you would have said that coming into the night, everyone would have looked at you absolutely crazy. But Michigan State finished the night 41% from 3, holding Michigan to 24% from 3. Michigan State didn't shoot all that well from the free throw line, 10 for 15 for about 67%. Michigan did not do good at the line as well, 11 for 18 for about 61%. And then Michigan State, after they were doing really solid, as we said, the first 5 minutes, but for that next 10 minutes, I felt Michigan was doing a lot of good things off the glass and kind of getting the better of Michigan State in that stretch. But then Michigan State able to turn it around and be one of the top rebounding teams in the country like they are, finishing with 34 rebounds, out rebounding Michigan 34-25. In this one. And like we said, in the first half, I think only finished with 2 assists, finished with 12 assists, 10 assists in the second half, 6 steals, and then staying at 11 turnovers when you have 9 in the first half is absolutely incredible. 10 fast break points. You didn't even get out and run as much as you'd like to, as much as you did against Purdue, and still able to do this. And to start the game, Michigan State wasn't getting into the paint, but then eventually once they broke through and when Michigan was kind of, playing that zone that they were playing, once Michigan State went to halftime, adjusted, kind of figured some things out, and they were getting into the paint, that's when you saw the success. That's what we were talking about. Defend, rebound, run, find those seams on offense when they're playing zone, and get into the paint is a recipe for success for this team. We've seen it time and time again this year, and just absolutely incredible. And again, Michigan State's largest lead, 13, and again, that's the lead at the end of the game. You just love to see that. Like, yes, would just love to have this, nice lead the whole game. But again, we've seen it a handful of times. We've seen it against Oregon. We've seen it against Purdue. We've seen it against Illinois, where Michigan State falls down in the first half. They're able to come together, stay together, adjust, make halftime adjustments, come out in the second half, just defend like crazy, execute on offense, and get the job done and have their largest lead at the end of the game. I mean, it's just absolutely impressive. And now, as we said at the top here, you look at the Big Ten standings. Now, Michigan State a half game up on Michigan. with officially about 2 weeks to go now here. But hey, we know this. We've talked about it ad nauseum. The schedule does not get any easier for Michigan State. They go to Maryland on Wednesday, so a little bit of a break coming up for Michigan State after this short turnaround. But then you got Wisconsin at home on Sunday next week, and then you go to Iowa, not easy, and then you close at home again against this Michigan team in the Breslin Center for Senior Day. So really tough stretch coming up still for Michigan State, but absolutely incredible win. Absolutely loved watching it. Big time top 15 road victory against your rival. Cannot complain at all. Absolutely loved. Cannot wait to go flip on and rewatch it. But anyway, that'll do it for this one. Thank you all so much for watching. We'll see you in the next one. Peace out.